Those in favor? Aye. And then the rates of pay, item U. I need a motion and a second on that.
Motion.
All those in favor? Aye.
Has anything changed as far as our rates of pay?
We increased some of them last year. We do get a comparison chart from BoCE's, but that doesn't come out until December, January. So when that comes out, if we find that we're dipping behind, then we might make that adjustment in the winter.
Great.
The official bank depository, I need a motion and a second on that.
Motion. Second.
Any questions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The official investment product, I need a motion and a second on that.
Motion. Second.
Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Then that brings us to official newspapers, the Daily Freeman and the Poughkeepsie Journal. I need a motion and a second on that.
Motion. Oh, second.
Any questions on that? No, all those in favor? Aye. Then I need the check signatory authorization. I need a motion and a second on that.
Motion. Second.
Any questions? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The policy manual, I need a motion and a second.
Motion. Second.
Sure.
Any questions? All those in favor? Oh, go ahead.
Yes,
Yes. Mhm.
that should be the third tab on your right.
You see it?
Oh, you're not logged, you're not, because you're not logged in. You'll have access to it.
All right. So we need to check that. All those in favor for the policy manual? Aye. All right. Superintendent of Schools authorization. I need a motion and a second.
Motion. Second.
Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. And then the second superintendent of schools authorization. I need a motion and a second.
Motion. Second.
Questions? All those in favor? Aye. And then we need to establish mileage. I need a motion and a second.
Motion.
All right. All those in favor? Aye. Trustee and alternate workers comp committee. I need a motion and a second on that.
Motion. Second.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Trustee and alternate, what is the DHEC? What does that stand for? Oh, it doesn't matter. There you go. All right. I need a motion. I need a motion and a second on that. Thank you.
It's like, read.
You're very good at it.
Motion. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. And then petty cash funds, to establish those, a motion and a second.
Motion. Second.
Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Bonding of personnel, a motion and a second.
Motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 The CSE and CPSE appointments, I need a motion and a second on those.
Motion. Oh, second.
Any questions? All those in favor? It's mostly the same. There might be, is there any change in position, Dr. Hayes? There's not. Yeah, there, a couple of them switched around a little bit.
So we did add an additional chair at the secondary level for both middle school and high school because they between 70 and 80 meetings a year has got to be too much. So we split the stipends. So you'll see 2 names this year, whereas last year there was only 1.
That's the alternate chairpersons, you said?
Nope, under chairperson. So the 6 through 8 and then the 9 through 12.
See how there's two?
So there's two, there used to only be one.
Yeah.
So we created another position for
Okay,
both of
thank you.
those. Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Cooperative bidding with BoCES. I need a motion and a second.
Motion. Second.
Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Red Hook Child Care Lease. I need a motion and a second on that.
Motion. Second.
Any questions? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just not
That's okay.
familiar with this. The Red Hook Child Care Center is,
That's what we call CAP, Kids at Play. That's their official name. So we rent them space with the agreement that it's specifically for Red Hook
Yep.
kids.
That's like the after, before school and after school.
Yeah. All right, thank
Okay.
you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. We also need to renew our BOCES contract and a motion and a second on that.
Motion. Second.
Questions? All those in favor? All right. Renew, the transition specialist contract. I need a motion and a second on that.
Motion. Second.
Any questions on that?
I'm sorry, I don't know what a transition specialist is.
I believe it's college, right?
That's
Okay.
Peg D'Onofrio at the high school. So she works specifically with all the juniors and seniors on college plans or after postgraduate plans. So she transitions them to the next phase after high school.
That's what I thought. Just wanted to, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sometimes she's referred to like as a college or a secondary. Right. So all those in favor? Aye. Okay, and then we have to vote on our RAN, our RAN. I need a motion and a second on that.
Motion. Second.
Any questions on that? All those in favor? Aye. And then I need a motion to adjourn this meeting and go into our regular Board of Education meeting.
Motion. Second.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. All right. Good morning, and welcome to our board meeting. See how that transition happened?
Hey, Kelly, Kelly, can we just do the pledge?
Yes. Okay. This time we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then that brings us to Dr. Hayes, our facilities update.
Okay. So we'll start with the cleanup efforts after the fire at the high school. So last week we got our second round of air quality results in on Thursday evening. And there was significant improvement in all of those levels. They tested multiple locations throughout the high school with a concentration, obviously in the academic wing where the fire was. So we have the clear to reoccupy the building. However, we already had pre-planned work to do in those bathrooms as part of our approved capital project. So we are right now today starting an abatement process in those bathrooms to remove the partitions between the stalls and all of the plumbing fixtures. The only difference after the fire was that we had to replace the ceiling in two of the bathrooms completely, which was not part of our original plan. So Dr. Roddy has been working with his staff and parents in the community for item pickup for different things. There were some things that couldn't be salvaged that were in lockers, which we had shared before, that had the most amount of soot and debris from the fire. So all in all, we're in good shape with the high school, and we plan to actually start a summer program after the abatement towards the mid to late July. The work on the fields is going great. We're actually a little bit ahead of schedule due to the weather, which has been wonderful. So if you drive by, you'll see that everything is dug up, including the track. So right now they are looking to lay conduit for the lighting poles that need to go in the ground. So those are expected to go in next week. If everything stays on schedule and the weather cooperates, we should be done with everything by the end of October, which includes the top coat on the track. However, that is weather dependent. If the weather dips below 50 degrees, we are not allowed to put it on because it will crack. So it has to wait until the spring.
So the track would be ready by the end of
August or did you say?
So
I'm sorry.
October,
Oh, October.
end of October, if the weather is warm
Mhm.
and they're able to put the surface layer on the track, if it's warm enough, they will do that. If not, it has to be done in the spring. So if it's able to be done in the fall, they should be able to use the track in the spring, but we won't know. It depends on the weather. But everything else has been on time. The contractors have been great. They started today also on abatement at the middle school. I had shared with you before, we had the declaration in April for the tiles in the kitchen at Lamb's that need to be redone. That's being done this week. They're also doing abatement in the kiln room where we have to fire rate the walls. So that's being done this week. And then throughout the summer, they'll continue the window balance work, which was part of the capital project. So everything is going great with those pieces. We do have interviews scheduled for the director of facilities for next week. That is a civil service competitive class position. We had 450 names that we canvassed. 450, yeah. So that'll be great. So we anticipate that. There are other questions about facilities or anything that you had? Yeah.
What's the status of the lights? Can you
So
remind me, is that
the
approved?
lighting project it was part of the pre-approved capital project to replace these lights at Mill Road in the high school. So right now we're in the design phase. So the plan would be to do that next summer. So that will be part of whoever is on the facilities committee. That will be the discussion at the facilities committee to take a look at plans for those. But every one of the halogen or old lights will get converted to LED. We'll put occupancy sensors on all of the rooms
That's great.
for light conservation as well.
And the lights for the fields, the track and the field, those
Yeah,
are,
so those poles go in next week.
Okay.
And then we plan on having the lights actually installed by the end of the summer, end of August, beginning of September. Sure. The field won't be ready, right, to use another year. No, that was all submitted to the state before we could start the work. The state had approved everything, including, so they get pretty detailed engineer drawings and electrical drawings, et cetera. But they were having sod put in. So that was one of the alternate bids for the field work. It was either grass seed or sod, and the sod actually came in less expensive than we anticipated, which was great. So we're going to put sod in, but it has to be watered all summer. So the roots attach.
So will the kiln be ready at Lamb's for the
The kiln will
school?
be ready for
Nice.
school. Yeah. Mhm.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else have any questions? All right, so that brings us to our recognition of Eagle Scouts from Troop 3042.
Hi.
Straight from work. Turn
Well, I
off
first want to say I appreciate how both of you stood for the flag like that, and it's really important. It's also really important for our school district that our students engage in local civics, and this is one of the best parts about having this recognition when you come to the school. So I just want to read a little bit about how significant this is, because becoming an Eagle Scout is one of the highest things that you can do in scouting. And it represents years of dedication, perseverance, resilience, all incredible things, attributes that you have. And also only about 6% of scouts actually go through this program to receive this rank of an Eagle Scout. So this distinction is a small amount of young people that decide to do that, to give back to their community through service, leadership again, and living out trustworthiness, respect, and commitment to our community. So we're very lucky. I know you're leaving us, but we're really proud to celebrate you in this milestone. So thank you. Thank you for all that you've done, Robert, for our community and representing our school district so well. So thank you. Before you go, you have to talk about what you did and what you experienced and the outcomes.
Um, so I built a new shed at the rec park for the baseball team. Doubled the size of the old shed, and like the old shed was falling apart and stuff, so it just wasn't good anymore. That was a fun experience. I spent all my last summer building it. Lots of weekends, lots of long days, but I got through it with the support of my family, friends, and community. It was very fun of a project.
Great.
That's
Does
fantastic.
anybody else want to say anything?
It's
Yes.
a beautiful shed, by the way. You should all check it out.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
elaborate.
Dr. Roddy, I know Dr. Roddy's also an Eagle Scout, so if you'd like to, want to come up and say a few words too? Yes.
On behalf of the high school, I just want to say congratulations to you. To know Robert is to know just how incredible of a young man he is. He is certainly one of the kindest people in the school, but also one of the most tenacious on the athletic fields. He's achieved so much over his 4 years in high school and even prior. He's made our school a better place every day. And by virtue of everything in scouting, he's made this community and the world a better place each day. So I know I have a stepson that plays baseball and he'll benefit directly. So personally, I want to thank you. But, those parts of the rec park and any recreational facilities are so important and they're not always top of mind. So the fact that you identified that as a need and executed a plan, I mean, this is what project-based learning is and all the things that you need to do in the real world to be successful. Robert's already done by virtue of this project. So we're just so proud of you and I can't wait to see what you're going to do. So yeah, congratulations.
Amazing.
Inside.
Amazing. Thank you. Oh, and this is yours too. They didn't call you Miss Pascal.
No, she graduated now, so
Yeah.
we'll address it.
Yeah.
See your mom again.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute. Well, congratulations and thanks again for everything that you've done for us, Robert. We appreciate it. All right, and that brings us to our first recognition of visitors. If anyone would like to speak or share anything, we ask that you please come up to the mic. Oh, yes, you may leave. I'm sorry. I was like, wait, did I forget something?
They're being very polite.
I
They're-
know. Thanks, guys.
I'm sorry, before we, I just want to also recognize Will. He also received his Eagle Scout, as well honor, and he was not able to attend today. So please, when you see him, I'm not sure his exact project. Do you know, Heather?
So he redid a well at Ferncliff Forest that at one point was just covered by debris. So he didn't have to redig it. He just made the pretty part at the top. Functional. Yep. Yeah. So at Ferncliff Forest, Will and Agnes.
Will you see him?
Yeah.
Okay, we will. Okay. Perfect. All right. So I jumped the gun there. Sorry about that. So recognition of visitors, if you'd like to speak or say anything. No? You sure? All right. All right. So we'll go past that then. All right. And this is the time for any Board of Ed thanks, review or remarks. If there's anything that anyone would like to discuss or talk about. I know we just had executive session. Anyone? No? All right. We're moving right along. Okay, so that brings us to item F, budget consent, which are the bonds 1 and 2. I do need a motion and a second on that.
Second.
Is there any questions or concerns regarding that? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Okay, and then this brings us to oh, I did them together. I couldn't do that. Sorry about that. I apologize. So that was for bond 1. So for bond 2, it has to be separate. That's on me. It's for the vehicles. So I need a motion and a second on that. So we get a second. All right. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Sorry, guys. And then that brings us to our business consent agenda. Items 1 through 23. I'll need a motion and a second on those.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or concerns there? All right, all those in favor?
Actually, Kelly,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I do have a question.
Uh-huh.
looking for where it is. In the, it's in, I'm just looking for it. There's something in here for teachers or staff members that are able to have tuition exemption. And they just have to commit to doing 80 hours within the school year per student that they have enrolled. And I was just kind of curious what that looks like, those 80 hours, because I noticed the language is per student. If we've had a scenario where somebody has had multiple students in the school and how they actually accomplish all those 160 potentially hours. Just curious to hear.
Yeah,
about
so
that.
there have been different scenarios. I think we've had one staff member that had at the most two of their own children here. So they've done things like then the advisor for a club, and then they just don't get paid. And that particular staff member's case, she did two clubs and didn't get paid, and she also ran some summer school programs. She didn't get paid for that. So it depends. Sometimes they volunteer to work athletic events, whereas they would have gotten chaperone pay. They just forego that pay in lieu of just using the hours towards the tuition. So it's a little bit different for every staff member. Some staff members for our support staff unit that was agreed upon this year for next year, bringing their student here would just forego any overtime pay. So we try to tailor it to the position and what they can do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I
And
was
our
just curious.
administrative staff does professional development.
Mhm. Okay. Nice. Thank you.
Okay, great. So I just need a motion and a second on the business consent. I guess I had that. I just need approval, right? Is all those in favor? Aye.
I
All right, drink more coffee.
I just want to thank the Asienzo Family Foundation. They're so wonderful and help us every year with so many things. They donated $5,000 for the summer academy, so we appreciate them.
And that's at Lamb's this year? Yeah, nice. All right, so that brings us to the personnel agenda, items 1 through 17. I need a motion and a second on that.
motion second.
Any questions or discussion there?
I have a question. In terms of the theater, what are the positions that are associated with operating the theater? I just wanted to get kind of a feel for, there's the music theater stipend. Is that the only position? There's also a technical position associated with the theater?
So two different things. This position is part of the RHFA contract as just the choreographer for the musical. And then we have a separate consultant contract that happens to be with Amber as well, that she does all of the technical stuff, but she also is working with our theater instructors on teaching kids the technical aspect of the theater and the inner workings and stuff. She's the one that runs all of our weekend events. So if we have an outside group, she's there all weekend, just making sure that all the tech is available to them and working properly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, all those in favor? Aye.
So Kelly, if I could make just two comments. One, we want to thank Dawn Valentine. Dawn has been a teacher in the district for over 32 years. She worked mostly in the primary building. She was actually a kindergarten A teacher years ago when we had a kindergarten A program. She was a kindergarten teacher, and most recently she worked as one of our special education teachers on the 3-5 side. So she had a long career here, and we thank her for all of her efforts and dedication to children. I also want to thank Scott Roitze, who is was our director of facilities. Yesterday was his last day. He was with us for about 5 years. He came in the middle of COVID, which was not easy. A lot of things to pick up there, but he did a lot in the district and helped to move a lot of our projects forward. So we thank him for his work as well.
Kelly, I just had a quick question. We have a bunch of fall coaches that haven't been filled. It's coming up close. Are we having issues with some of those?
Or like the volleyball?
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's looking for
Jamie.
coaches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we just hired, the athletic director, so I'm sure he's looking.
Yeah, the hope is that he'll get somebody on for the August 6th board meeting.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, and so that brings us to our policy review and approval. These are second reads. The first reads were April 21st. Thanks for looking that up. So I need a motion and a second on that.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments on policy reads?
Just have a question on
Okay.
the process here. I'm not sure if this is the right place. We can talk
Okay.
about it later if that's better, but I'm just trying to understand the process of approving policy, what a first read is versus second read, and just how that works. But again, it
So
could be
we,
somewhere else.
yeah, so, and we do have a policy committee. It's a great question. Heather actually runs that policy, our district clerk, and they go through, Patrick and Jennifer are on that committee right now. And they go through the policies, anything that needs to be changed. We do the first readings and then we'll do a second. If you guys want to add anything.
Yeah, so we meet and we look at updating our policies if there's any changes from state ed or anything that we need to make, or based on feedback from administrators, directors, or staff. If there's any that we need to make those changes, we'll review them. We'll get feedback on them, then we present them to everybody for a first read. So usually they go through a first and a second read, so people have time to think about them and look at them. If we have one that's an immediate, like a state ed change that we need to make a policy right away, sometimes we'll have to approve it right away. Some of that's just dictated out to us.
Yeah, so this first policy 7211, second read, you mentioned in April
Right.
was the first read at that April board meeting. One should have read the policy the first time. And
Correct.
provide feedback during the meeting or before the meeting? Or
Yeah, I mean, at any point, so the policy committee will report out to say what their conversations were, and then if anybody has questions, to say like, oh, hey, I have a question about that policy. Then they could talk about it that time.
Okay.
And then if there's need to be changes that were made or suggestions, or if we needed to send it to legal counsel for review, in between the first, second read.
Is that great? All right.
And
yeah,
the
perfect.
committees are set during the board retreat. Right?
What's that?
Generally, we decide the committees during the board retreat.
Yes.
Who's going to be on which committees,
I understand.
facilities.
Yeah. And they're the ones that were
policy.
required to have policy and the audit committee, which were all part of that. So but those two. All right, great. So all those in favor? Aye.
That brings up a good point too, which I don't think we put on our calendar, is that we have to do walkthroughs, because that is one of the committees too, a building walkthrough committee. Where were the dates? Was that on reorg or was it?
You're stacking.
So I don't know everybody's availability, but I think typically we used to try to meet, if the meeting starts at 5, maybe go to the high school at 3:30, then the middle school when we're done, and then eventually walk around here. So basically we just walk around, we show you the upgrades, any questions that you have regarding that. The students aren't here yet, but it's just part of what we're required to do as part of a committee, and also I think just good practice.
All right.
So is everybody?
High
okay
school
with
starts
that?
the 9th this year?
I believe so.
Okay.
So is that okay?
That-
It's the August 27th meeting. The board meeting starts at 5, or we could do it before or after. It's really up to you. I don't think the meeting will be long itself.
I can do the August 27th, like 3:30
I
you were
could do
saying? Yeah.
before. I could do before
That because with
if that works.
August is good for you.
That day, yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll schedule it 3:30.
3:30.
We can start at the high school and then we'll go to Lambs and then we'll come back here.
Good catch.
And that's purely a facilities focus, walking through.
Not
looking at the facility.
necessarily. The principals will be there, but we will show you upgrades. It can be any other questions that you have. The administrative team will be there with the principal, but it's mostly focusing on, are we ready to get school ready? Any concerns that we're seeing, anything that we have to bring to your attention? That might be necessary before we open, but basically that.
Great. All right. So that brings us to adjournment. Can I get a motion and a second on that?
Motion.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.